Welcome, everyone, to the best sports gambling show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today, and I am your host, Andy Lang. It's Monday. We're coming off a huge weekend, especially in UFC, where myself and clients crushed it. Momentum's on our side, and we've got a great lineup today. We got a massive week ahead of us across a lot of different sports, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. We've got Gianni coming in, breaking down where all the money is going today. We're going to talk with Crackman. We're going to talk about this Illinois tax. This is important. We all need to pay attention to this. This is going to affect us all. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to go over an MLB prop. We're going to go all around the world. And then Bryan Leonard is going to come in and talk Dodgers and Padres. Bryan's been on a really, really nice run in MLB. So let's get to it. Let's bring in Gianni. And while we're doing that, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Really, really appreciate it. We got over 205,000 subscribers. So let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, how are you this morning?
Never better, brother. Never better. God bless you, man. Shout out the block. Start off a good week, my man. We're coming off a great 3 days. Picked up almost 20 units. Nice 5% winner. Swept the UFL. If you see any UFL in there, bro, fire. We're hitting near 65% on those UFL bets. It started off a little rocky like the first 5, but since then it's been like boom, money every weekend. 2-0, 2-0, 3-1s. So
nice.
Yeah. Anywhere there's value, we're going to try to uncover it. Today it's simply Major League Baseball, mostly on the dogs. Real quickly, I'll get NHL out of the way. Here's what we're looking at. Good two-way action. Surprisingly, with it being 1-1, I thought it would be like 90% Florida. It's about 70% Florida, kind of what you expect with the team, splitting on the road, coming back home, close to a minus 140. So it's on pace for what you expect the books to have more risk towards Florida. But be cautious on this game 3. Historically, it's close to a coin flip. And more importantly, look at for the series. Real quickly, the adjusted series price right now has Panthers at minus 120. It shows you just how close this series is. And historically, the value is actually still on Edmonton, even though they got the split, just because they are the home team for the series.
Okay.
Florida would now have to at least get, sweep at home now to flip that, to now be the home team for the series. Like if they just split and it goes back to game 5, 2-2, that's why you'd have Edmonton still being the favorite, because they'd get game 5 at home, they'd get game 7 at home. And that's why it's still like a coin flip. But it seems like the narrative is all towards Florida. So you may want to look at possibly Edmonton tonight in game 3 as a little bit of value. Edmonton for the series. So even if they lose game 3, you're still alive with a ticket there if you disagree with the Florida money. And the sharp money is all on the same side. They're betting the under after the first 2 games flew over, overtime, a lot of goals. They're going under 6.5. Some of my sharpest outs are already at 6 with the under favored. But if you look at the square outs, they're all still at 6.5. So it tells you public's betting this series over, just like they saw in the first 2 games. Wise guys are going the other way after the first 2 games. And you kind of expect that from the betting syndicates, because whenever you get outliers like 9 goals scored when you're expecting 6, 6.5, they're usually expecting the regression towards the mean. So I think the under is a little bit of that, kind of taking advantage of that recency bias, because it wasn't a series that they were like, it's different. They were betting game 1 under, game 2 under, but that's not what happened. Instead, they're now getting involved in the total after seeing the first 2 games kind of being slight outliers for, Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah. Listen, we're coming off of a really, really big UFC event. I got to be honest. I think I love this next card coming up. I've already done my article. I've already done my research. It's on to the next one, guys. And I'm telling you, I could not be more excited about UFC. So it was a good event. I think Sean O'Malley's best days are behind him. That guy's got a lot of problems. What was your thoughts on UFC 316? And what did we think about the upcoming card?
I was most impressed with Kayla Harrison, even though, just because of the pressure. Like, it's now a step up in competition against a girl who's tough, that even if you beat her, she's going to push you. She's going to take you into deep waters. That's what we all wanted to see. How does Kayla Harrison react in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, in the 5th round? And Juliana Pena was supposed to be that girl that's able to push her there, where she's still going to be in front of her. She's still going to come throwing punches. She wears it on her face, but she's still going forward all the time. Kayla Harrison is just too much for that weight class. I mean, I don't know how long she's going to be able to cut down to that weight, just how dangerous it is. And even her team said it was a little shaky there on Thursday. So I don't know if she could maintain that weight class, but she's just so dominant that the setup with her and Amanda Nunes depends what weight class it's at. But that's going to be a huge, huge mega fight. As far as women's MMA goes, that will be the biggest that we've seen, even adding in the Ronda Rousey days. So that was impressive to me. Also, Batista, that was my 5%. I was on an island. I started getting scared leading up to that fight just because all the experts were saying just how great Patchy Mix is. And I know, listen, you can't take anything away from what he's done already, having only one loss his professional career coming into the UFC. But you're still comparing apples and oranges. I don't know disrespect towards all other promotions, but there's a reason there's levels to this. And there's a reason, just like in baseball, you're either in AAA, AA, or you're playing in the majors, but you got to work your way there. And we saw that in MMA with Patchy Mix being so dominant at Bellator and then having a top 10 UFC guy make him look like he didn't even deserve to be in the same cage with him. Batista was never a threat. There was never a threat where he was going to lose that fight. He was going to get hurt. He was able to do pretty much exactly what he wanted to every single round, and there was no answers from Mix. So those two performances I thought were the most impressive. And I agree with you, O'Malley, going back to now everybody knows what they have to do. If you have any kind of offensive wrestling and can control him, he's in a lot of trouble. Just stay away from that, power, and you'll be fine. And unfortunately, guys that faced him up until now, they stood with him and made it easy. Marab changed all of that. And I think also he's going to now question himself mentally. You give up the weed, you give up social media, you do everything right. And this guy still goes out there and dominates you, lets you know, again, there's levels to this, and you're just not at Marab's level. And for someone that was as hyped as O'Malley was, and everybody was praising how great he is, and now all of a sudden to get that realization, it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that and what he's built like, what he's made of. Because these are the times to test you. When everything's going right, it's easy. Kind of like with sports betting. When you're winning, it's easy. What do you do when you start losing?
Yeah. My MVP of the night was a guy we loved coming off a Contender Series, Andreas Gustafsson. I just love him. He's one of the most violent guys that people have never heard of. The ass whooping he put on Chaos Williams was so violent and so brutal. And I just love him, Gianni. They interviewed him in the ring after, and they go, "Now you don't even watch film, do you?" And he goes, "No, I don't watch film.
Rarely is the juice worth the squeeze."
He goes, "Vikings didn't watch film, so I don't watch film."
I love that attitude. I love that dude.
Best.
He just wants to fight. He's just there to fight. And being at the UFC as long as I have, getting the meat out of these guys, I've met the guys that are athletes, the guys that are competitors, and then I met the guys that are fighters. Like we had this question, I'm going to share it real quickly here, where we talk about it in the production meeting, and they were like, who would you be more afraid of in a back alley? Like they were like, if you walk down the black alley and saw Francis Ngannou, or walk down a dark alley and saw Michael Bisping. And I swear to you, I say this to you, and I swear to you, I've been around both of those men, and here's what I can promise you. I would be so much more afraid of Michael Bisping than I would of Francis Ngannou. Like Bisping is a killer. Like that dude is a killer, like a stone cold killer. Ngannou's a competitor, who happens to have size, could hurt people, but he's not a killer. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level.
I do. A
different level of athlete. And Bisping's like off the streets. Like that guy will slice your throat and go have dinner and not think twice about it. Like that kind of dude. And I love him for it.
Yeah. So Gianni, I had a topic I want to talk to you. Any other free plays or lines or anything? Because I want to get to a topic that's not totally sports gambling related.
Real quickly, I'll shout out a couple MLB plays because they're all dogs except for St. Louis, which is at a pick 'em at -105. But 906 Milwaukee down to +140. The Cubs down to +125. Tampa all the way to even money. And Cincinnati at +140, down to +140. So a couple dogs for you: Cincinnati, Tampa, Cubs, Milwaukee, and St. Louis at a pick 'em. So what we got next, brother?
Okay. So listen, when I agreed to take over hosting WagerTalk Today, I said I want to do some things that are a little bit outside the box. This is not 100% sports gambling related. It's life related. It's business related. And we'll try and bring it back to sports gambling. Give me some feedback. I want to know if you guys enjoy these topics. Okay. One of the changes that I've made over the last couple of years with my production company, we do staging, sound, and lights for concerts, festivals. A guy came to me a couple of years ago, and he works with some really, really influential, very well-off people. He said, you wouldn't believe this, man. The number one asset that these people have, it's not money, it's not real estate, it's not power, it's time. He said, these people are the most efficient and best with their time of anybody I have ever met. Everything they do is to free up more time, and that's how they get more successful. I've implemented this in my production company, and overnight, we've seen success. More money has come in. We all have more time. We've invested in products, not that we can rent, but products that open up more time for us. This has been a really, really big change in my life professionally and personally. I want to get your thoughts on this because I think a lot of people look at, oh, well, money is the most important thing. Real estate's the most important thing.
No.
It's time. And the people that are best with the time, those are the ones that end up really, really getting big term results. So I'd love your thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, because it's true. It's the one thing you can't purchase, even after you get a bunch of money. You can't go back and buy that time up. All that time you wasted, all that regret, all those things you could have, would have, should have done, like those take a toll on you. And when you're young, you kind of take that for granted. You think you have forever. And that's just not the case. And it's the youth that wastes time. When you get older, you stop wasting time. You start realizing time is your most valuable commodity because all the money in the world that you have cannot buy you that back. And you're forced to become more efficient. You're forced to become more efficient in your work, in your private life, in everything because of that time. Like that becomes more important than anything else. And you start setting yourself up for success by implementing processes that help accomplish that goal of freeing up more time, whether it's with investments, whether it's with work, whether it's with your family. Like when you're younger, you have such an advantage because you have that time, but unfortunately you don't have that knowledge. And by the time you gain that knowledge, you lose that time. That time is gone. To get ahead of the game is to realize that that time is on your side, but you have to use it wisely. Perfect example, investing. Everybody waits for that big score, myself included. And then you wake up one day, you're about 40 years old and you're like, wait, the big score never came. The big score hasn't come. Now what do I do? Where if you would have just done it easily, realize that time is on your side. That if I just simply bill myself every month, you pay a cell phone bill, you pay your car payment, you pay your insurance, you pay your rent, you find a way to pay those things, but you don't find a way to pay your future, pay for your future. Write yourself an invoice every month. I don't care what it is, $50, $25, $100, but force yourself to pay it. That's investing in your future self. That's buying up free time in your future self. By just doing that little thing, putting away $100 a month and putting it in a right investment, nothing risky, buy some gold, buy some Bitcoin, or just put it in a 401k type of investment where you're just buying the market and you don't care. You're not timing anything. You're not trading anything. You're just investing for the long term. You are going to take advantage of compounding gains where now your money's going to get a chance to work for you instead of you working for your money. The only way you're going to do that is if you take advantage of time. That time means putting the money away now and letting it compound for you over time. Again, the problem with it is we want everything now, and we don't realize while we're trying to accomplish that now, we're wasting time and really not accomplishing anything because we're waiting for the big score. We're waiting for like that one thing to fall that's going to change everything. It just doesn't happen like that. You got to work at everything. So you have to value your time. That's the most valuable commodity you have. And when you waste it playing video games, when you waste it doing stupid shit, you'll never get that time back. If you use it the right way when you're young, you'll have nothing but time and opportunity ahead of you as you get older. Again, unfortunately, the way life works out is the opposite, where we waste our time, then we get knowledge, we can't get our time back. So if you can get that wisdom early on, you're set, man. You really are set.
Well, let's bring it to sports gambling. Let's put some actionable things into place. What are some things that we can do? I can give some of my thoughts too. Perfect. About how we can save time with our sports betting. And I will tell you one of the I'll go first. My biggest one is forget handicapping the sports you're not good at. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time and money. I'm not good at some of these other sports, so I go to the people that are good at those sports. Why am I wasting my time trying to handicap cricket? I have the best cricket handicapper on my team. I don't need to watch these games. I don't need to go down the rabbit hole of handicapping that. So staying away from the things that are not profitable and focusing on the things that are profitable, great way to save time. What do you got?
Dude, that is gold, bro. Cut that out and save that. That truly is gold. No, seriously, why you're running an uphill battle? You already have in a market that's difficult, that's proven difficult to you, and you're able to profit somewhere else. Why would you even bother with this market that's giving you problems? Why not keep getting that milk from that cow that's giving it up? You know what I mean? Why are you trying to get it from the one that's not? It doesn't make any sense at all. The one of the best tips that I can give all young bettors, dude, don't do it for me. Do it for you. Do this for you. Change your life. Forget free picks. Forget all that nonsense. Bet size correctly. I'm going to bring it back to that. And this is how you save time, by automating your bets, meaning start today. I don't care what you have. You have $500 bankroll. You have $1,000 in credit in an account, whatever you have. Start now. Determine your risk of ruin and create your bet size and stick to it for 3 months. Give yourself 3 months. You're going to bet next week, next month, next year for the rest 30, 50 years of your life. So why don't you just give yourself that one opportunity to do it the right way for 3 months? Just like working out. Everybody goes to the gym in January. By February, everybody quits. Why? Because after the first 4 weeks, they don't look like they're the self that they visualized. Bro, we overestimate what we can do in 6 months, and we underestimate what we can do in 6 years. That's the one mistake humans make. We overestimate how quickly things get done. It just doesn't happen that way. So what you have to do is automate that betting. Again, you have $1,000. You already know you're never betting more than 1%. So your top bet size is $10. You want to go $5 on regular bets, $10 on best bets. Your job's done. Every morning you wake up, regardless what you did last night, regardless what you're up for the week, down for the week, you're betting the same. So that time is now eliminated of you wasting. All right, I got 5 picks. How am I going to bet them based on my bankroll? What's the best way to do it? Do I parlay them? Do I round robin? Do I eliminate all that waste of time? Set it up so that it's automated. I'm betting $10 on every pick regardless. So what's it matter? I never have to think about that again. I'm never going to waste another second on what I'm bet sizing. And then I'm going to revisit this in 3 months, see where I stand. But you owe it to yourself to try to do it the right way. And I promise you, you're going to save a shitload of worry, time, and your results are going to be improved. And then you go from there and see what works best for you. But owe it to yourself to do it the right way. Save time on figuring out how much you're going to bet today, because you should be betting the same every single day, meaning the same amount on every play until you're a specialist enough where you could differentiate between, betting 1x, 2x, 3x, or 4x, or 5x. Until you get to that point, save your time. I'm going to bet 1% on everything until I prove I'm a winning bettor. That's it. Problem solved.
Yeah, we could go on hours and hours and hours, but I just know in my life I've seen the returns when you really, really focus on the time. So we're gonna we'll keep trying to talk about that if we have ways that we can help you guys save more time, because they say time is money, and boy, they weren't kidding. Absolutely, that is the case. So appreciate your thoughts on everything, Gianni. Tell everyone what you have up for clients over at WagerTalk.
Good luck this week. Good luck to everybody this week. Gonna have my a baseball package with multiple 4% in there today. Hopefully we get some UFL action that I could package up for you. And looking at tonight's NHL, possibly a little NBA later in the week. And of course, a good MMA card coming up this week. We're up for the year, coming off a great 3-day weekend, and just pushing forward, baby.
I love it. Thanks so much, Gianni. Can't wait for another big successful week. So thanks everyone for joining us. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't done that already. We're going to bring on Crackman. We're also going to bring on Bryan Leonard, and we're going to talk some baseball. Real quick, Dan, let's go all around the world here. We've got some free plays for everybody. Somebody brought up a comment about all these free plays we do all around the world. They're not all from the WagerTalk free picks page. Like, I pick a couple, but I try and do some content of sports that we're not already talking about on the show. So I'm trying to give you guys some content from some different sports here. But we'll take a look at the Blue Jays over 4.5 on the team total. Cardinals pitchers given up 13 runs in the last 15 and 2/3 inning. I like that the Jays went under their team total yesterday. Perfect time to come back for their over. They had gone over in 3 previous games, scoring 5, 6, and 9 runs. U.S. Open is this week. You want an underdog here? Take Rory McIlroy will miss the cut at plus 300. He's struggling with his driver. He's complaining about it. His driver got banned at the PGA Championship. He shot plus 9 and missed the cut at the Canadian Open. And this is Oakmont. This is a ridiculously hard course. He's even said, I'm not that focused after after completing the career Grand Slam. Don't be surprised if Rory McIlroy misses the cut. And we're talking UFC. If you were looking for an underdog, you want to lock in, I like Miranda Maverick at plus 275 over Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas, her best days are behind her. She lost to Blanchfield last fight because she got taken down in a couple rounds, and that's what Miranda Maverick can do. It's a 3-round fight. Rose's striking is not what it used to be. If Miranda gets at least one takedown in the first round, she's going to win that round. Then she needs one other round to get that one takedown. I think plus 275 is way too good to pass up. So looking at Blue Jays over their team total, Rory McIlroy will miss the cut, and Miranda Maverick at plus 275. All right, let's bring in Crackman. I want to get his take on certain things here. Bill, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm just going to jump right in. We have to talk about this tax that they put in Illinois. I keep telling people you need to pay attention to this story and things like this. When you heard about this, what was your initial gut reaction?
You know, they make it tougher and tougher. But we have conditioned the whole society here. We have conditioned so many people, these new people that are new to this. That's just the norm. And, you know, I remember when sports betting first was overturned and Pabst was repealed, you know, the Meadowlands was the first place in New Jersey, which was the first place that had sports betting in New Jersey. And they had minus 115 on the NFL. Both ways. And I was, you know, me and a couple other guys, I'd like to think we were very instrumental in telling FanDuel and the owner of the Meadowlands actually responded. I couldn't believe that it wasn't him. It was the company that came in. And yeah, they actually changed that to minus 110 like it is everywhere. And it's just amazing what they'll get away with, whatever they can get away with, in other words. So these kids, these newbies to the business, they don't know. They don't know a money line, you know, on baseball was always minus 130, come back plus 120. They don't know that it's minus 110 each on the NFL. And so they're willing to lay minus 150, come back 110. That's what it is at a lot of places. So just like this Illinois is taxed, this I like to call it a street term, a shakedown. And that's exactly what it was trying to be. Right now, the sports books are going to eat it, but I don't like them to even eat it 25 cents on a $10 bet or whatever, because eventually that will be passed on to consumers. They just won't know it. It'll be in the form of more juice, less promotions, or it'll somehow affect you down the line, but you won't even know it. And especially people that are willing to accept it. You know, we have 6-5 blackjack out here, 000 roulette. And the tables are packed. Why? Because we've conditioned a society of newbies to just have fun and play. They don't know any better. They don't know what we've been used to the last, I shouldn't say 20 or 30 years. How about the last 100 years? That's the way blackjack and roulette has been. You know, over in Europe, the 0 roulette, literally like a 2.5% compared to almost 9% on 000. So, it really is amazing to me, but it's not the way the industry's going. It's insulting to a lot of us old timers that have been around the block for years. But like I said, these new kids and stuff, as long as they continue to play this stuff, they're going to have it. But it's just stupid. You know, lawmakers don't know. They don't even know what 11 to 10 is. You have gaming boards. That's right, gaming boards that make the rules, or better yet, they police the rules for the public and the casinos. They don't even know what sports betting is. They're used to, you know, a slot machine era or a blackjack era. They don't even know, you know, like I said, you go back to that 11 to 10. They don't even know what that means. So they have to do searches on it before they issue a ruling. And let me be blunt, they're working indirectly for the casinos. So yes, they do help some of the public sometimes, but if it wasn't for the casinos, they wouldn't have their jobs. They have to remember that. So of course, the laws are going to favor the sports books and the casinos and the big factories over Joe Public. So I like to think I'm a voice for that. Try to help some people out when it comes to that. But right now, what I'm told is not going to affect the public directly right now.
Okay. Well, that's good. It may not affect them directly. I'm with you. Indirectly, sports books are going to figure out a way.
It'll affect them though.
They'll figure it out, and of course, we're going to be stuck footing the bill for that one. So, let's get into some actionable info. MLB prop. Listen, you're always going to have my attention when you're talking props here. And by the way, I don't know if you heard, Art DeCesar was on last week, and he was saying at Westgate they have now had to start putting a ton of props up. And he's like, we can't fall behind the time. So this is great for people like you and me that love specializing in props. So we're seeing a lot more places open up with these props.
Westgate's very good to me. I film our podcast. It's on WagerTalk. I film it right in the sports book there. They have taken my bets. They just, I have nothing bad to say. It's the Superbook. You go there, it's like, wow. It's the Superbook. They take my bets. And for the last 2 years, I've been real lucky too. They've cut me a 6-figure check at the end of the season. I don't cash out until after football. I really don't need a ton in there. But now that you're saying baseball props and stuff, you're right. But during the season, what I'm beating them on too is NFL props. They take $1,000 a play for me. The app, I always try to get more in, but $1,000. Sometimes I give them a rebet. I bet my stuff. I'm a rare handicapper that actually is in the space of selling games that actually bets his stuff. I mean, I could just my account. If I showed my account, my pending bets that are there, I mean, I bet. A lot of people out there talking BS. I can't take them. They talk about all this stuff they do and they want to sell games and they want to sell and they don't bet themselves. I mean, literally, this is my pending bets. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands pending throughout the season. I literally have, 42,000 pending, sports pending, 42,000 there. Down at Circa, I got another 50,000 pending. I'm not trying to brag about amounts. What I'm trying to do is tell you guys that I bet my own stuff. I don't just open my mouth and give out stuff. I bet what I'm playing. And
let's I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's go over a prop that you really like today. Not a huge slate, but there's definitely props out there that are available.
Yeah, Tampa Bay pitcher Shane Baz, over 16.5 outs recorded. He faces a Boston lineup that has to travel to Tampa after a late game in New York last night. And, the Rays bullpen needs some rest. They've been used a lot in the last 4 games, including an extra inning game. They'll push him to go as many innings as possible tonight against this tired Boston lineup. That's all it takes really is a lot of reading, a lot of research. And that's what I do on a lot of things, It's following beat reporters. It's let us do the work for you, me and my team. So like I said, against that Boston lineup, so I'm going with the total outs for Baz over 16.5. And I like to attack baseball certain ways. I don't really bet a lot of sides. I'm a total guy. I'm a first 5-inning guy. First 5-inning totals. Not too often I'll play sides in many sports at all. Though this football season, I've had a really good run here the last couple of years. Not even selling, just betting some football sides early in the week. Though that's going to be Sunday night when the line comes out. Monday morning. It's very rare that you can beat NFL the day of the game against a very efficient line. But I'm going to be putting out some stuff this football season, and just wait till preseason. I mean, it's really going to be a fun time.
I love it. Have you done any season wins on NFL? Me and Dan are breaking down a game about every show. Wondering if you've gotten down on any of the season wins so far.
I've done some. Last week I bet the Vikings to make the playoffs. That's considered a season win. That's still good right now. By the way, I like it at Pick'em. I took 120, or 115, 120 to make the playoffs. Also took the first week game too. I took the Vikings too. They're playing the Bears opening week. I like them in that game too. The Vikings. But as far as over under season wins, I bet a couple that are still available. I'd rather give the stronger things out to you. I think the Vikings are going to be good this year. Obviously, as you can see there. Let me see what I bet today. I'll tell you what I bet. Andy, I want to give anyone that's watching live something they can do that I can't do. So you have the U.S. Open this week. This is called a peanut bet. if you guys are in places that have Fanatics, which of course threw me out, DraftKings, I'm allowed to bet DraftKings at the counter, not the app. They have Shane Lowry to win the U.S. Open at 45-1. It's just worth a little bet, $5-10, throw something on. It's just out here at Circuits, 27-1. William Hill's the biggest in town. They're 35-1. Of course, they threw me out. I'm not allowed to play William Hill, but the Caesars brand for using my brain and beating them. But they're 35-1. But I seen DraftKings and Fanatics at 45-1. That's just, it's just a peanut bet, for someone to throw a little peanut on, just a little bonus bet for the guys that are watching. Listen, I'm not going to say it's a great, oh my God, this guy 45-1. No, but he should be like 20-1, 25-1 the most. I mean, I just think it's good value. I know a lot of the caddies out there, and I actually have actually stayed in Hilton Head with his caddy. So I like him. I like the guy. He's a nice guy, and being nice is one thing, but I think he could play. He can hit the ball.
It was a good performance, the Canadian Open, for sure. I didn't think he was going to have a good showing. I thought the course would be too long for him, but his accuracy, soft greens, and good short game was really, really good. So he's the opposite of Rory McIlroy. He's coming into the tournament looking pretty good, as opposed to where I talked about Rory to miss the cut at 3-1. So, Bill, tell everyone what you have up for clients over at WagerTalk.
Yeah, rolling along here. We got an NBA player prop up. Listen, it's real simple. I grind every week. Another winning week last week. I told you guys the last few weeks have really been outrageous. I'll take 12-6 and 13-5 the week before that. Any day. So we grind. That's what we do. We win. I know long term. I know the reason why I'm thrown out of so many sports books, and I don't want to tell you the countless bookmakers when I live back east and stuff. Nobody likes anyone that wins. They throw out losers, people that just win 1 week. These books, they're scared to death. So, we grind away, and you're gonna win. You're gonna win if you join WagerTalk. My picks, long term, you're gonna beat the book. That's what I've been doing for 30 years, beating bookmakers, and almost 10 years here of selling and never having a losing season. So, there you go.
Love it, Crack, man. Appreciate you always, man. Always love our talks, and I can't wait to talk to you next week after the U.S. Open. We'll revisit that. So, Bill Crackman, everybody, Krackomberger, appreciate it as always. All right, guys, we're gonna do a marquee matchup, but we have some specials up at WagerTalk. Tell you about one more day for the buy 7 days. Discounted down to $77 per day. It's a big week. We do have the U.S. Open that's this week. Of course, MLB. We've got NHL and NBA. The finals are this week, clearly. We have UFC and PFL. More on that in just a bit. But yeah, 7 days for just $77. Just because we're in the dog days of summer doesn't mean there's a lot of profits out there. So use the promo code GAMEON, GAMEON77. That gets you 7 days. I mean, 1 day pass is $39. So you can get 7 days for $77. So really, really nice discount. That's on the WagerTalk deals page. I am running a special for myself and for all of you. And I think the price is crazy, but we're going to run it anyways. You can get 30 days of MMA for only $99. Why is this crazy? Well, PFL is this week, and we have a few weeks of PFL and UFC. We cashed our 5% on Saturday, as a lot of you know, and we're maintaining that number one spot in WagerTalk for the number one MMA handicapper 2025. We're up 32 units. We have a 5% play that's up and 2 4% plays that are up for this week. That alone is $60. But we're going to run 30 days for only $99. This is an absolute no-brainer. This is what we're really leaning into with our own bets and our portfolio. This has been our best sport this year, and we're going to tell you what we're running hot in and what we're not running hot in, and MMA has been where it's at. So we're going to keep continuing this. We're going to bring on Jim later on this week to talk PFL. PFL, we're 5-2 this year, and the tournament moves on this week. So this is an absolute no-brainer, guys. It's by far our best sport in 2025, so we might as well run a special on it. 30 days for only $99. That includes all 5% plays, 4% plays. You're going to get UFC and PFL. So absolutely take advantage of that. I think the price is crazy. I think it should be double that, but whatever. It's dog days of summer, so we're helping everybody out. So. All right, let's do our marquee matchup. We're going to talk about the NHL game tonight. Listen, Both games have gone to overtime. I find it really, really hard to pick a side. I casually said Panthers last time, and they happen to hit at plus money. But I think the props are where it's at. We talked about Brad Marchand over 1.5 shots on goal last time. He had 6. It's the finals. The veterans are going to shine, and Marchand is just one of those guys that comes to play. Take him over 1.5 shots on goal. If he goes over tonight, that number is probably going to disappear. He's had 3 games in a row over 5 and 9 shot attempts the first 2 games. I like Sam Bennett to have a point. He's just always in front of the net. The Oilers probably hate him at this point because he's always just bothering Skinner, and he's always around the puck. He has a point in 6 out of 7 games. He has 3 points in this series, and I think we have to go back to Skinner and Bobrovsky over 26.5 saves. Both have gone over the series. I know it went to overtime, but they've gone over in regulation, I believe. Just a lot of shots on net, and if we go to overtime again, these guys are going to cash easily. And then the Oilers will have a point in the first period. They have a point in the first period in 7 straight games. A lot of these games, multiple goals. So I'm going to take a look at the Oilers. It's minus 155. May seem a little bit juicy, but man, the Oilers seem to get off to a really, really good start. So Marchand over 1.5 shots on goal. Bennett will have a point. Both goalies to go over, and Edmonton Oilers will have a point in the first period. That's your marquee matchup for the NHL game. Let's bring on Bryan Leonard, who is doing just a fantastic job here in MLB. Bryan, you sent me some of your streaks, and it's really, really impressive. And, one of the things that we said when, I started hosting was like, we don't want to give out these like, well, I'm number 1 the last 47 days. You're number 1 lifetime in MLB. That's bragging rights. That's a really, really big thing to brag about. So congratulations to you. We're going to talk Dodgers and Padres, but tell everyone what's been working on this hot streak of yours in MLB. Are you focused on spreads? You focused on totals? Is it a little of everything? What's been the secret?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. And I appreciate you having me back on this week. I had to leave town last week, some prior engagement. But yeah, it's a situation where we're now doing, I'm part of with Adam Trigger and in Tokyo Brandon, we do a show Monday through Friday. It's 6 a.m. Pacific, my time. So it's early in the morning, but 9 a.m. Eastern for a lot of people out there, not quite as bad, but they do show the repeats as the day goes on. But it's called Total Bases. And one of the reasons why I've done so well lately is because we go over as many games as possible. We take information from the chat, the games they want to talk about. We all throw out our opinions on it. And I know how you've been to town before, and you know how it is when we get a bunch of handicappers together. We throw out our opinions, and somebody always has some information that you don't have. So it's great information. About being able to bounce this off of everybody every day, I think has helped us all out. And that's what we've done for years. We used to have the Tuesday group, which was known around the country. We used to do that every Tuesday. We talk football. We bounce around between everybody, and it really helped everybody out. And the more brains you have to do this, the better it is. As much as I say that I do study these games, I can't know everything. And because of that, somebody might say, one of the other guys will say, well, do you know the bullpen situation today? And that comes into account on the game we're going to discuss today between the Dodgers and San Diego. But as you mentioned, number 1 lifetime in Major League Baseball net profit. Current runs 19-5, 41-18. And I play a lot of underdogs. And in baseball, we had 2 underdogs yesterday. We split them. And that adds up to a lot of profit. And so it's been great this baseball season. And as you mentioned, going back to the beginning of Wager Talk, number 1 in net profit in Major League Baseball. I know Tokyo has been very good at the other Mexican baseball, Japan baseball, Korean baseball. I only have time for Major League Baseball if I'm going to do baseball. And it's worked out really well.
I love it. Let's talk about the Dodgers and the Padres. We got May for the Dodgers, Pivetta for the Padres. I have this theory with Pivetta. I don't think the manager likes him because he pitches 5 great innings, and then you can tell he needs to be taken out, and they're like, no, you're going to go out there, and then you're going to get shelled in the 6th. Why do they keep doing this with Pivetta? Honestly, I look at this game, and I'm like, oh, Dodgers under their team total first 5 innings. But what is it with this guy? Why do they keep leaving him out there? Their bullpen's really good. I don't get it. Anyway, you're number 1 lifetime. What's your breakdown on this game?
I do want to point out I'm from Cleveland, and Bybee and Williams, it does it every time. They'll pitch 4 or 5 great innings. They leave them in for the 6th, and then they get bombed. Same thing happened to Bybee yesterday. 2-0 lead, bring them back for the 6th, and they tie it up 2-2. I don't understand it, but you get all that information in front of you. Use it. Nobody cares about wins and losses anymore for the pitchers. Only thing we care about is wins and losses for the teams, and that's what we make our bets on. But yeah, the Dodgers playing San Diego today. That's a huge matchup in the NL West. It looks to be a highly competitive series. So far this year, both teams have really done well in their division. The Dodgers are 7-3, while the Padres are 9-3. Los Angeles is only 16-16 on the road, though, while the Padres are an excellent 20-10 in Petco Park. Dustin May had a rough go of it the past few seasons, managing just 78 total innings pitched since 2022, entering this year, and that includes missing the entire 2024 season. He surprisingly got off to a great start this year, which the reason why I say it's surprising, when guys come back from injuries, it takes a while. We've seen that out of Strider. We saw it from the Seattle pitcher last night. It takes a while to get it all going, and the last thing you see is control, and that's usually what the problem is. But May got off to a great start, but lately he has not been so strong. His season has regressed as of late. Comes in with a 4.09 ERA, a 4.46 expected ERA, and a 1.25 WHIP on the season. Nick Pivetta is a guy I love. He had a great signing for the Padres coming into the season, a late signing. There was so many teams out there right now just killing themselves because they didn't pick up Pivetta. But this is a great spot for him. He's a fly ball pitcher, and this stadium fits him perfectly. He enters with a 3.16 ERA, 3.49 expected ERA, 1.02 WHIP, which is great. His strikeout to walk ratio is an outstanding 21.0. The best pitchers in baseball are 16 and higher. He's at 21.0. In fact, today, the Phillies throwing their starter going today, and he's at like 26. Just tremendous pitching out of some of these guys, strikeouts to walks. And that's really, if you want to see how good a pitcher is, don't pay attention to win-loss record. Pay attention to the strikeout minus walk ratio. Anything better than 16 is what you're going for. And once again, Pivetta's at 21. The problem for the Padres tonight is their overworked bullpen. Suarez, Adams, Estrada, and Morgan have all pitched 2 of the last 3 days. They've been involved in a lot of close games, a lot of games in which they were winning. So your best relievers will pitch in those games. That is our concern here today. So I'm going to take a look at this for the first 5. I'm going to eliminate the bullpens. I'm going to play the Padres in the first 5 at minus 105. That's San Diego in the first half of this game, minus 105. Once again, 20-10, straight up at home. The Dodgers only 16-16 on the road.
Love it. We got a question in the chat. Brian, do you like the Panthers tonight? Do you have any strong thoughts on the series?
It's interesting. I knew Edmonton was going to come out in game 1 and play well. They had playoff revenge. I'm not a huge revenge guy, but playoff revenge means a ton. And so I was able to give my clients the Edmonton Oilers for game 1. Then after that, I came back and I told my clients to bet Florida to win the series. We got a plus 181 because they were already down. I expected them to be down 1 coming into game 2, plus 181. Now, if you look at the numbers, it's a pick'em series. So we got a great situation going for clients who not only 1-0 in the NHL, got a great almost 2-1 underdog on Florida, and they've got 3 of the 5 games in Florida. I think this line's a little bit too high. I'm going to stick with what we've got in the series on Florida, plus 181. I'll sit this one out, see how it plays out, come back the next game.
Love it. Bryan Leonard, you're on an amazing run, 18-3. 40-16, and we're running a special. You can take $150 off the rest of the MLB season. Brian, tell us a little bit about the special that we're running for you.
Yeah, this is a terrific special. It usually costs $599. You get it for $149. Takes us all the way through, all the way to the end of the World Series. That's a tremendous value, especially considering our history in Major League Baseball and the success we've had. Also, I've talked about it a little bit earlier. about our new baseball show. We've got a tremendous response to it. We've got 3 guys on there that really love baseball, and you've got to love a sport to be able to have success in it. I used to love the NBA years and years ago, and it's just not the same for me anymore. But the NBA playoffs are a really great way to make money, and we've done that so far this year, 11-3 in the NBA playoffs, although we did have Indiana yesterday for full transparency. But yeah, it's a great baseball show coming up Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. We break down as many games as we can, and it saves you the time of doing the handicapping on your own. We each throw out a lot of information. The fans seem to love it, and it keeps growing and growing, just like this Wager Talk Today has been since you've taken over.
I appreciate it, Brian. Yeah, check out Total Bases. It's absolutely worth the watch. A lot of great information. Shows like that, if you just take away a couple nuggets and it helps with your handicapping, it's just like 100% worth it. Like it totally is. You get talked off a bet that would have lost, or it points you in the right direction of a win. So congratulations to you guys. You guys have done a great job. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
You have a great one, and hopefully I'll be back on in the near future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brian Leonard, everyone, take advantage of that MLB special. Okay. I said we have a little surprise. Dan, can you come in here, please? Can you come on camera here? All right.
Am I in trouble, Andy? I got a message in the back end that said Andy was like, "You're coming on camera when Brian's done," and I was like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down."
No. All right, everybody that's there, I know we can't see you, but we do have to raise a glass, Dan. I'm not going to be there in person. It's a huge shout out to Dan. Dan and I started at Wager Talk at some different times. We've become friends. We become coworkers. We become teammates at Winning in the Shadows. And this is Dan's last day before he gets married. And I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there to toast to you, but we're so grateful for everything that you've done. This is such a huge chapter in your life. I'm wishing you nothing but happiness, love, and joy. Take it all in and enjoy this week. Please don't get stressed out. Just enjoy every moment of it. This is one of the most important weeks of your life. I would like to toast Dan, one of my best teammates and really good friends. Dan Alexander, congratulations, sir, and have a great wedding.
Andy, man, you almost was like, whoo, getting a little dusty up in here. No, I appreciate that. And like Andy said, it's so funny because when we both first started here, I was helping Andy produce a NASCAR show. And now here we are. Who would have thought, following up Brian Leonard, who's red hot here on Wager Talk Today. But no, I couldn't be more excited heading down to Laguna Beach to marry the love of my life. I know people always joke. It's like, oh, don't do it. You're making a mistake. All I know is I'm making the best decision of my life. This girl has made my life 1,000 times better. She makes me a better person. I couldn't be more excited to finally call it forever with her. So the kind words is very much appreciated. I'm definitely going to miss being here on Wager Talk Today for this week, but we're not going anywhere. And Andy, a little reset is needed. A little R&R is needed. We're going to come back and we're going to go on a hell of a lacrosse run sponsored by the new Mrs. Newbert. So, hey, appreciate that, Andy. I love doing this with you. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, congratulations, Dan. Enjoy the week off, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Get notified when shows like Total Bases go live. Get notified when Wager Talk Today goes live. We have tons of breakdown videos on all of the different sports, especially NHL and NBA Finals. So thanks so much for joining us. We're going to get after it tomorrow, and again, congratulations to Dan. It's going to be an amazing and unforgettable weekend. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck on your bets, and take care.